Hello there, vinyl community and YouTube. JorgenS here. This time I was thinking of showing a little special part of my music collection. Previously, during this 1.5 years that I've been here on vinyl community, I've been showing vinyl, I've been showing CDs, I've been showing singles, and I've even been showing my 78 collection also. However, there is a part of my collection that I haven't been showing all that much, maybe because it is a little collection that I don't use all that much, but still they're part of my musical collection. I'm talking about my cassettes, the albums that I have on cassette. I don't buy records on cassette all that much anymore. I want to focus on vinyl and CDs. Unfortunately, I don't listen all that much to it either, because I'm way busy of going through the vinyls and CDs that I've been buying during the month. So there isn't that much time to dig among the cassette collection. However, there's still original releases of albums in some form, and some of these albums are really good, so I see no reason to get rid of them. They're part of my collection, and I feel when I'm looking through the collection that maybe I should go through them and listen more to some of these records, because they are really good. Will I buy them back on vinyl or CD? Couple of them, some of them I have actually, but some of them I'm not sure, because maybe I will one day, but I want to focus on new music, discover new music, instead of laying money in first hand on albums that I actually already have in some form, in some original form. So it's better to actually focus on new records that I don't have before. However, let's go through. I picked out some cassettes that is very interesting. Starting off with a stack of cassettes. With some maybe forgotten 80s artists, forgotten 80s albums. First of all, here's a band that's mostly famous for one song, and that song is from this album, but this band actually is a whole lot more than that. I'm talking about Berlin, who in the early part of the 80s was a really great American synth-pop band, but when they hooked up with Giorgio Moroder and did Take My Breath Away from Top Gun, that song became a huge hit, but unfortunately the career went downhill. And this is a proof that they actually is far more than Take My Breath Away. I love Take My Breath Away, but this album is a proof that they can more than that. The follow-up single, Like Flames, is really good. So check out Berlin. Count to three and Pray. It's a really great album. Johnny Hayes Jazz. This is a really awesome album that I've been having for soon almost 25 years. This is a great album, relaxing British 80s pop music. Shattered Dreams, you have I Don't Wanna Be a Hero, Turn Back the Clock, the title track. Really great cassette, really great album. This is really interesting. This is Arcadia. This is a hobby project that 3 members of Duran Duran did during 1985. It's Simon Le Bon, still as a singer. Some have been calling this the best Duran Duran album that Duran Duran never did, actually, and I tend to agree that it is a really awesome album, sadly forgotten. It was a huge fail when it came out. The election day the single was a hit, but that was all. but they have so much awesome track here. I really like the song The Flame. It's really great. The Promise, that is a really great song. So this is highly recommended. This is a forgotten little classic. This is New York disco teen Alisha and her self-titled debut album from 1985, consisting All Night Passion, Baby Talk and so on. This is a great disco album, no doubt about it. This is very great produced, great New York disco. I really like this album. It's an album that I should have listened more to than I have actually. This is two albums that I definitely not listening to all that much, mainly because they are Christian albums. I'm not interested in Christian music at all, but I got these albums from a pen pal that I had around 20 years ago, an American pen pal from New Orleans. And I don't know if she wasn't watching this, but hi Judy Tremblay. And I got these ones as a present from her, and I still have them, even though it's not my kind of music, but really fun to have. This is Mo Leverett. I don't know how many of you who know these artists, because they're not famous at all in Sweden. Mo Leverett and his album Tender Mercies. And you have the group called Glad and the album Floodgates. Some records with very big artists. Of course, I have some cassettes with Depeche Mode. This is their singles 81 to 85. Album that I have been a cassette, I'm gonna say, that I've been spinning very many times during during my life. This was the album that made me discover their early part of their career, such as New Life, Blasphemous Rumors, Leave in Silence, Get It the Balance Right, Everything Counts and so on. So this is a collection that I like very much. And this is also a very interesting Depeche Mode, a little newer. I showed Songs of Faith and Devotion before on CD. On cassette I have an album that is connected to that album. This is Depeche Mode Songs of Faith and Devotion Live. This is a live album with songs from from Songs of Faith and Devotion, and it's only the song from that album. 3 albums with Norwegian group I.G.Y. These two are a little special to me because I got them in, I think it was birthday present or Christmas present by my grandmother. This is their debut album Hunting High and Low, and their 3rd album Stay on These Roads. So they are childhood memories. And I also bought by myself their 2nd album not long after that, The Scandal Days. Adam Lee, Madonna, her erotica album. I think it's very underrated. Of course it is a little stupid with all this sexual references and all things, but I think it's very well produced, very well produced by Madonna and Shep Pettibone. Shep Pettibone is a really great producer, so it's a very great produced. I really like the song Deeper and Deeper. Sting. This is an album that I actually bought back in 1989. Nothing Like the Sun. Really great album. Love the song Fragile. I think that one is a really great ballad. So this is a really relaxing and great album. speed up the tempo a bit. A couple of rock cassettes. This is Scorpions. Who would imagine that I would actually have a cassette with Scorpions? This is Crazy World from '91. Yes, it is the album with Window Change and Send Me an Angel and so on. But this is actually a great rock album. Maybe the best thing that Scorpions did, in my opinion, anyway. More rock music. This time we're moving from America to Germany. No, otherwise we're moving from Germany to America. Dan Reed Network and the album Heat from 1991, consisting Baby Now I was a summer hit that year for this band. I don't know if this counts as rock and roll, but it still is very good music. This is The Cure and the album Disintegration, also an album that I've been having for way over 20 years. I talked in John Bellamy's contest about that I received a couple of DVDs as inheritance from a good friend of my family, Christer Wickberg. And I also mentioned there that I got during when he was alive a couple of many albums from him. And I also got, while he was alive, a couple of cassettes from him that it's very interesting. This is Rod Stewart. Normally I'm not a huge fan of Rod Stewart at all. This is the album Lead Vocalist from 1993. But this one contains a song called Handbags and Gladrags that I actually really like in Rod Stewart's version. So I was happy actually to have this one, even if I'm not the biggest fan of Rod Stewart. This one I was really happy about. This is Bryan Ferry and his album Taxi. Taxi is a cover album where he does some very great covers, does a fantastic song, maybe one of the best versions I ever heard of this song. I Put a Spell on You, Screaming Jay Hawkins song. And we're having Will You Love Me Tomorrow as a Carole King song, and other great covers. So this is a highly recommended album. Richard Carpenter from the Carpenters, a solo album that he released back in 1987. Also surprisingly good. The album is called Time. And also Donald Fagen. Never listened all that much to Donald Fagen, and I was so interested in it when I got it. But then I heard some tracks from this album on an old radio show here, and it sounded really relaxing and good. So this is the album that I think I'm going to give another spin once again, and in the nearest future, because I have new high hopes for this one, that this one will be really good. More rock music. Lou Gramm, Long Hard Look, Lou Gramm from Foreigner from 1989, consisting of a song that I really like called Just Between You and Me. This is a cassette that I hold very close to my heart because it is very much nostalgia. In 1990, my high school class and I was on a class trip to Copenhagen in Denmark, and on that trip we stopped by in Malmö because you took the boat at that time. There was no bridge during that time. We took the boat from Malmö over to Köpenhamn, and in Malmö on the back home I bought Heart with Brigade. And I remember how a classmate and I, we shared a room, and we were sitting discussing the lyrics, and he thought that the lyrics was a little too tough, a little too much sexual oriented lyrics. I didn't understand why, actually, but it's a really, really good album. And finally, some soul cassettes. The interesting thing is that was it 10 years ago or something like that, it was pretty easy to, on some low budget stores, to find cutout cassettes with cutouts that contained much great soul music, and with artists that I actually, some of them I never ever heard actually, but I listened to them and it was really, really good. Such as this artist, Geoff McBride, from 1990, and the album Do You Still Remember Love? I never heard of this artist before I bought this cassette, but it was really, really great, awesome, relaxing late 80s soul music. And this was also an artist that I like today, but when I bought this album, I haven't hardly heard a song with her. Karyn White and the album Ritual of Love. But this is a really, really great album. I also noticed when I bought it that it was produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, which was the main reason for why I bought it. But I really like this song. Romantic is a really, really great, so funky track. So this is highly recommended. Some Prince albums, Sign of the Times. We're having the Graffiti Bridge from 90. Jeffrey Osbourne. An artist that when I bought this one, this also is part of the cutout cassettes that I found. I haven't heard all that much about Jeffrey Osbourne when I got this one, but he's a fantastic, great singer. Right up there with Al-Giro, Alexander O'Neill and so on, but a whole lot more forgotten. So I really like Jeffrey Osbourne. And finally, I think this is the only 70s soul cassette that I actually own. I bought it because I felt I really wanted a cassette with 70s soul. So I bought Understanding by Bobby Womack from 1972. I like this cassette cover. Really special with black and white tape. Released on United Artists. Yeah, United Artists Records. So, and of course I have a whole lot of other cassette albums also, but these were some of my favorite albums that I have on cassettes. As I said, they won't be growing all that much, but it's fun to have, and I think I will give many of these a spin when I can. And as I said, in the nearest future I think I will listen to Donald Fagen most of all. So with that, I hope that you enjoyed my little walkthrough, my cassette collection, and until next time, I think I will do a response for Captain Howdy's contest. So until then, I hope that you have a really nice continuing of the week, and so long.